Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 105 of the Custom Apparel Startups Podcast. My name is Mark Stevenson from ColDesi.
And this is Mark Vila from Coleman & Company, and today we're here to talk about sales conversion strategies. And this is a continuation of this marketing plan that we've been working on since about episode 101, I think.
Yeah, right? We had the recap episode, and then we started on this.
Speaking about the recap episode, Monty Mims from Sanmar.
Yes, the apparel geek.
Yes.
That's his term, not mine. I didn't look at him and says, wow, what an apparel geek.
Or sometimes apparel nerd, depending which social media platform you're on. He was so excited to have made the top 10.
He did make the list.
Yeah, he was really excited. Did he message both of us, or was it just me?
No, I think everyone.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you're listening again, we're happy to have you in the top 10 too. And if just to kind of throw back, if you didn't listen to that episode with Monty Mims, whatever one it was, look at episode 100 and we say the number.
Yeah,
go back and listen to that one.
There you go. And just as a side note, if you do mention Monty on your podcast, you will get an alert on Ancestry.com.
Yes. So we're talking about sales conversion strategies, and it's because we've taken a few steps as far as identifying leads, gathering information from people, getting them on your email list. You're taking steps, and one of the big steps in making money is actually converting people into a sale.
Right, and really that's kind of the theme of this is going to be, you've created a lot of interest by picking the right niche and being in the right place and doing all of those previous 4 episodes worth of stuff.
Yeah.
You've got them to the point where they're interested and maybe even signing up for your email list or your marketing list. How do you get from that interest, from the guy that's standing there in your store fondling one of your custom t-shirts, to making sure... No.
Oh, okay.
Making sure that he writes you a check or gives you a credit card.
Yeah, and because this is kind of how things work, is if you did everything that we've talked about so far right, you are just going to get people that come and just say, here's my money, give me my apparel.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen.
That's the best outcome.
Yeah, and you're going to get those customers that are just come up to you and just give you money, basically. Yep. However, there is another 30-40% growth in sales that you can get by taking some steps to actively pursue that sale.
Yeah, so there's a, and that's what we're talking about now, is we're talking about sales. I mean, we're not talking about 1980s car salesman sales or in door-to-door insurance sales. We're talking about like professional sales, where you take somebody that's expressed an interest and get them to buy your product. And that can be a scary thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, people don't generally like to be pressured, and then therefore, it's kind of the do unto others type of a thing. And usually people don't want to do what they don't like done to them. That's just a typical human thing. Yeah. So you don't want to feel pressured into a sale, so you don't want to feel like you're pressuring somebody into the sale. However, if you really think about when you've bought something recently, and you've met somebody who is a nice, professional, good salesperson. This could be the last time you upgraded your phone. Yep. It could be the last time you got a car. It could be when you bought your house or rented an apartment. Whatever it is, you've met somebody that you feel that you really like them. Maybe you left them a good review.
They clearly know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, yeah. And however, also, if you really pay attention to it, they were trying to convince you to say yes, to finish it up, to do it, because they know that you could have easily left the Verizon store and gone to AT&T. Right. But if you do it right, it doesn't feel like pressure, even though you are you're pursuing it and you're antagonizing.
So here's the way I would put it.
Yeah,
is you're helping people make a good decision, right? Because you've got a good product, you're a good person to do business with. You're very passionate about what you do. You make sure the quality is good. You try to deliver on time. You deserve the business. And if they leave without buying from you, if they leave without your products, then they're going to buy from somebody else, and you can almost guarantee they're not going to be as happy with it as if they would have bought it from you.
Yeah, when they leave your store or you're in front of you and they go somewhere else to buy something, you realize that there's an inherent risk that when they go somewhere else, they could get a much worse product at a much worse price and have a terrible experience. So that's really part of the mindset you have to get into, is say, I know what I do is good. That's why this person should buy from me.
And honestly, if you've ever talked to any of the ColDesi salespeople or the SCSRs for Coleman and Company, when they're on the other end of the phone, that feeling may come through, because we know that there are places where you can buy most of what we sell. There are other places where you can get similar products, but I can almost guarantee that you're not going to have the same quality of experience anywhere else than if you deal with us. So it really is, the way I feel like it's my responsibility to help you come to a decision to do business with us, because that's going to be best for you.
Yeah.
And if you have that belief and that attitude, then it's really not sales conversions, it's like good decision conversions.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's really what you're trying to do.
You're finding the people that match right up with what you sell. And that's the kind of the purpose of the niche thing, right? Is like you found a niche of people that buy what you sell. Yeah. So you've already identified them, and if you're kind of move them along the process, you get to here, right? And we've done everything else, and now we're here. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's give them some things they can actually do.
Yeah, I think what you've got here first is great. You've really got to do two things. Is you've got to recognize when there's an opportunity, when there's potential and opportunity. In other words, what are you looking for in what people do or say or how they act that make you think like it might be time for them to make a decision? And the other one is that you need to take action when you see that.
Yeah, and it's really that simple. I think about it sometimes as when, I don't know if I've told this story on air before, but I'll give a really short version of it.
Sure.
There was, I think I may have told a story like 50, 60 episodes ago.
Okay, then everyone's going to remember it, that's for sure.
There was, when I was in like middle school, you're just starting to you like girls and boys and stuff like that, right? I mean, everyone kind of has that memory.
Both, really.
Well, for different people.
I'm not judging.
Different strokes, different folks. And so anyway, there was this girl I thought was cute, and me and my friends, we used to go to the movie theater all the time. Every Friday, we'd always go to the movies, and her and her friends always went. And, I'd see her and I'd say hi, and I always wanted to just ask her to just sit next to me. Right. I mean, that's like the motivation of like a 12-year-old. I just wanted her to sit next to me, but I was too scared. And then, long story short, because there's more to it, but she ended up, actually, she had liked me and she wanted to sit next to me. And one of my friends, years later in like high school, we're seniors and we're talking about, and he was actually dating her at that time, and which was fine. I had a girlfriend and such, but we had a conversation, and we kind of the memory got brought back up, and he's like, "You couldn't tell that she liked you that whole time," and it's because I wasn't mature enough to see the cues.
You missed the opportunity.
Yeah, and I didn't see the cues, that she would smile or be bashful or get flushed, and I was get choked up. So you've got to kind of being mature in your salespersonship and in your business to recognize an opportunity when it's in front of you and not let somebody walk up to you, say something so obvious, and then just walk away.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe we can start with some of these cues that we're looking for.
Yeah, so let's talk about the visual cues that you see when somebody since it's that you can see, this would obviously be like at an event, at a show, at a trade show that you've got a booth at.
If you're networking somewhere.
You're networking and you're wearing your apparel, or even if you're doing that active word of mouth thing and you're going around and introducing yourself to local businesses.
Yeah, or you're introducing yourself at your child's ball game, or at a competition with one of your kids, or at we've talked about you network at children's birthday parties, wherever you are.
And let's just refresh your memory that the number one thing that you're going to do when you enter the custom apparel business is always wear what you do.
Yeah.
100% of the time you're wearing custom apparel. So wherever you go, you can look for this first visual cue. Now, if you are at a social event or if you're networking, someone will notice what you're wearing. If you're wearing a cool custom shirt that's got your logo on it, talks about what you do, got a custom cap, whatever your gig is, they're going to notice that at some point. And when they do, if they stare for a second, that means they're probably interested in like what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So if you're at a trade show or you've got a retail location or a shop full of stuff, that's when somebody eyeballs the stuff in your booth. Like I do that all the time, especially when I don't want to talk to a salesperson.
Yeah, you eyeball booths?
Yes, I do. I'll go by and there's somebody looking at me walking by and I'll just look, but can't take my eyes off something. That's a visual clue.
Yeah.
When they notice your apparel.
Yeah, so I would say maybe a side note little pro tip on this is do things to make your apparel more noticeable.
Yes.
So if it's t-shirts and designs, of course, have cool designs, right? So they're noticed. The design itself, the artwork is noticeable.
Yes.
But if it's not that, say you're just an embroiderer and you do caps and polos. That's like part of your niche,
Right.
Don't just have a plain white cap. Right, that might be 90% of what you sell are plain black and white, just regular caps. But maybe you get the caps that are like that have the lights in them, or get a cap that there's the caps that have like the beer openers on them.
Sure.
There's all like different things you could do, or a color that's vibrant.
Yeah.
And if you get something that's going to purposely push people to notice, then you're going to force that opportunity more often.
Yeah, I like that. If you can also do this by aggressively representing your niche.
Yeah.
So if you are in the bling, cheerwear, dancewear business, obviously you're going to wear an over-the-top bling jacket or shirt. If you are in the graphic T-shirt business, maybe you've got your best, funniest design or your most colorful print.
Yeah.
If it's DTG, your most beautiful photo. To bring people over that will ask about it, or they'll key in.
100% this works. A joke going around is with my girlfriend, Christina, is I make graphic tees for myself, all the time when I've got the opportunity to make graphic tee for myself and I wear them out. And so constantly when we're out, I get that's a funny shirt. That's a cool shirt. I like that design. Where'd you get that? And we were in ABC Liquors. I don't know if you know where. That's a big liquor store if you don't have it in your area, and it's really nice, brand new and opened up. Right. And they have a bar in there where you can get just tons of free samples. I know. It's a cool place. But
That's what I do with my weekends.
I 4 people in one ABC Liquor had mentioned something about my shirt, and it just said tacos and tequila.
Right.
And that's all it was.
Okay.
But I used, we're testing out some new colors for vinyl, and I use these new colors that are just unique. Okay. Not seen before. Right. And that was part of it. Is that it was a noticeable color. So anyway. Oh,
you're going to get free sample requests now. Okay. So I like that. The next one is you want to look for visual cues. If they are wearing custom branded apparel, like for a business. Yeah. Right? So if you notice someone, especially if you're at maybe a networking event, and let them notice what you're wearing, but also notice what they're wearing. If they've got a corporate logo on their cap, or if they're wearing a corporate polo, or they've got a branded bag with somebody's logo on it, that's an opportunity for you to start a conversation. Yep. Right? Because they either bought that, or their company bought that for them. Maybe they had it done professionally, and that's your opening because you've noticed. So this is kind of, before you're starting this closing or selling process, these are the precursors, what you need to look for. Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways you can go out noticing and mentioning something about their custom apparel. Yeah. So for one, you can notice quality, good or bad, and it's an easy way to just start the conversation. Right. Hey, that embroidery looks pretty good. I actually do that. Me too. I do it all the time. And I don't actually do it, but if I was a person who had an embroidery I do it anyway.
I would say that. I do it anyway. I run an embroidery shop. That's the embroidery on that's pretty good. Who did it? Yeah. So that's one way to say it. Yep. The other way is the opposite of that. So I was at a restaurant when I was in by the beach. Yep. And there's this like tiki style restaurant, and they had the bartender had on this really nice like moisture wick style shirt, and the embroidery was really, really bad. It was terribly puckered, crooked,
that's terrible.
Placed wrong, crooked, puckered up. It was bad. So if I was an embroiderer, you might say, hey, maybe get the manager and just say, hey, I noticed, I do embroidery. You might not have liked that, the way it came out. I know why it did that. And if you're looking to get them replaced, so you could compliment or notice something.
Yeah, and this is for later, but you would start that conversation with a compliment.
Yeah.
I love your restaurant.
Yeah.
But listen, let me tell you what I noticed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an embroiderer, and I see this guy's shirt. Notice how it's crooked, and I know you want to represent better than that. Let me try.
Yeah. Or I love the shirt is awesome.
Yeah.
Like that color, perfect choice.
Yeah.
And that's a great.
But that other company you hired really sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. My mom did that.
You put a facial expression.
Yeah. So what I like about this is it's a dying art, and it's one of my pet peeves.
Okay.
Is when you're at an event or a trade show, it's what people generally do is they will focus on the person in front of them. They'll have one conversation with one person. It's very comfortable to do that.
Yeah.
And then there'll be blinders because people are coming up and they're looking at the stuff all the time, constantly while you're talking. So watching people's facial expression, you know how to gauge interest. Mm-hmm. If somebody's interested, maybe they stay a little longer. They're excited when they see a design. They're animatedly talking to one of their friends and pointing. These are kind of obvious clues to know that they're visual clues that they're interested, and they're probably ready for the next step.
Yeah, and they're also they may be attempting to make eye contact with you.
Right.
Just say like, "Hey, I'm next."
Yeah.
And that can be and all of us, if you've worked in any sort of retail or restaurant, that feeling easily.
Right.
When you've got a lot of customers around and somebody's trying to look at you, and you acknowledge.
Or the other way around, you're at the table, you're trying to go.
Yeah. So that's it. If you make sure you're paying attention for that stuff, and it doesn't matter if you're at a show or in a store, or if you're sitting at a luncheon table and there's one person over there that you realize is like they're noticing your apparel, or something, and you can see it in their face, or they comment to somebody. That'll happen like with shirts that I have, where I'm in the store and I hear a guy behind me, and just say like to his buddy, "Oh, that shirt was pretty funny." And if I was selling them, I'd spin around.
Absolutely.
And say, "I heard you. Thanks."
You cannot be shy, right? This is your business. You're there to make money.
Okay. So they come by your shop or booth, or wherever you might be showing off, and more than once.
Right.
They're revisiting. That's like that to me. It's such a simple one like that. Just focus on learning facial recognition. Remember, don't use it as an excuse as you have a hard time to remember. Pay attention.
Picture yourself at a market. I know I had a long conversation with Kaylee, one of our listeners, about doing a market in Wichita, mm-hmm. And she said she sees the same faces. Come through her booth every week, and they're not all customers.
Yeah.
So, if you see somebody more than once and you notice them in your booth, but you don't remember them giving you money, you should encourage them to do that.
Yeah.
Because they want to.
Yeah.
Because they want to.
They're so close.
They just want a reason.
Yeah, they're so close. They just need that reason. So what else do we have?
I like this one because, you have to recognize your niche. So if you are in a niche market, and you're wearing the right apparel, if you see someone else wearing a bling t-shirt, a baseball mom shirt, if you see somebody wearing cheerwear, if you see somebody like
a noodling shirt,
or carrying a fish by the mouth with their fingers, if you see somebody that's if you see that niche, then 100% of the time, if you're in a retail environment or a show or a shop or a networking event where you have any excuse at all, just walk right up to them and, just relate.
Yeah.
That's it. Start the conversation.
Catfish you're hitting your hand is awesome.
Yeah. Hey, last time I noodled.
Yeah. But no, it is a good point to find those people and relate to them. And it's easy to do. And the thing is, it can be uncomfortable if you're like, oh, I sell fishing shirts. Now I have to figure out a way to go up to people who might be there and talk to them about my shirts. And it doesn't have to be like that. It's not that it's not that complex.
Right.
You go up and you figure out a way to make conversation with the person, and then eventually you'll just throw that right.
Yeah, like I love your shirt.
Yeah.
Do you fish somewhere locally?
Yeah, there and go into it.
Hey, we're both wearing fish on our shirts.
Okay, my fish is bigger than yours.
Yes, okay, could be. The next thing is if you notice someone that is using promotional products. Okay, now this is an opportunity where just like some of these others, if somebody is wearing a custom t-shirt, if they're wearing corporate apparel, if they're wearing something in your niche, if they're using some kind of promotional products or swag, even if they're trying to get you to do business with them, that they are already spending money on personalization.
Yeah.
They're already buying pens with their logo on it. They're already buying t-shirts, they're already buying hats. All you're doing is putting yourself in front of them, so you're in line to get a piece of it the next time they do that.
Yeah, no, right? That's great. And the opposite of that is something that I like too. If they're very obviously in a niche and they're not wearing something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So if you are doing corporate wear and you're meeting with your like an accountant or a mortgage broker or something like that, and they're wearing a button-up shirt like this or a polo shirt, and it doesn't have anything on it, or it's just a Nike shirt or a polo, you say, your logo would look awesome on that. And you could get it done for the same price as that, polo brand shirt.
I love that. And it's actually a joke around the office here that literally everything I wear is this shirt. With an embroidered or a DFX logo on it. So yeah, definitely. So they're using promotional products, they're wearing it. These are all visual clues, and you'll get very comfortable with this. You'll learn it. Start if you're at a show or an event. Notice when people notice what you do. And then just what we'll do next is kind of work on strategies, or at the end we'll work on some strategy and how to turn that interest into a sale.
Good. Well, let's talk about some verbal cues.
Yep.
And we got a few of these as well, because it's not only your eyes, but you want to look for your ears.
Yeah, you want to look with your ears.
We haven't figured out any other senses yet.
No.
But they could be there.
Yeah.
But definitely listening.
You could, you could, maybe if there's a particular smell, you could say, I sell some odor blocking custom t-shirts.
We always get custom t-shirts made. Or you hear them say that, remember the last time we had shirts made? If they're near you or around you, or if they mention that they have shirts made, where'd you get them from? Another thought is, where'd you get that? Okay, is there any? I'm trying to improve my business. What should they have done better? What's a lesson that I can learn?
Yeah, I like that.
And you get a conversation started, and they say, the embroidery was crooked. I figured that one out already.
Yeah, okay, good.
So just specifically, just a question. Maybe you have shirts out.
Yeah.
And do you do hats too?
Right.
I mean, come on, you dive on that stuff.
So listen, these may be, if you've done any kind of sales at all before, these may be kind of obvious. But what we want you to do is not let these opportunities pass you by.
It's just like this is all like mental exercise.
Yeah,
stuff.
these
you
are things.
Yourself in the
if someone says that, if someone walks into ColDesi and say, I've been looking for a place to buy vinyl.
Yeah.
They will leave with vinyl.
Yeah.
Because they've been looking for a place.
Yeah.
But if you just say, that's great. There are a lot of places around here that sell vinyl. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And it's funny, but it's important to just get yourself thinking about that stuff, and you'll notice more. You'll notice that extra 10%.
It'll be embarrassing.
Yeah.
The stuff that you'll notice.
So I've thought about doing this.
Yeah. So that is a great one, because it's non-committal on their part, right? So you're going to maybe ask them questions or show them things that might get them over the top. So why haven't you done it yet?
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, we can partner up on this. I've got this and that and the other thing. You're gonna look for things that they say that may not say, hey, I'm ready to buy this right now, but might be something slightly less for that than that.
They own you're at a little networking event, Chamber of Commerce luncheon thing, and somebody will just say I've been thinking about, I've been thinking one day that our staff should have uniforms.
Yeah.
You know, and they might just say it non-committal like that,
Yeah.
but then that's your opportunity to kind of just
How's Tuesday?
Yeah,
How's Tuesday?
Just start talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should find out how much it costs, because then you can budget for it.
Yep.
I'm the perfect person to give you a quote.
I love that. The other one is like, so these questions that are direct expressions of interest in what you do.
Yeah.
And the first one is, do you have a storefront? You know, what does that actually tell you? Do they what they want to do is they want to look around.
Yeah.
And see the quality and the types of things.
Or do you have a website? Is the other? It's the same thing.
Same thing. Do you have a business card? You know, that means, well, I do, and I'm happy to give it to you, but you're already here.
Yeah.
You know, let's take a look around together.
Yeah.
You know, and let's work this out. I do, but I tell you what, let's open up my laptop and go to my website and let's talk about your options.
Yeah. It's no, I don't have a store. I operate, you know, kind of a little bit more behind closed doors. I do most of my stuff through networking at events like this.
Right.
But I can show you a bunch of stuff. I got pictures. What do you want to see? You
Yeah,
know?
I love that.
And just kind of get the conversation flowing. And ask another just tip on this: to ask open-ended. What do you want to see?
Yes.
You know, stuff like that. Not something that they get easily yes or no out of.
And one of my favorite things, if you don't know what else to say, to any of these things that you think might be clues that they want you to encourage them to buy something, tell me about your business.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, do you have a storefront? You know, I don't, but tell me about your business.
Yeah.
You know, do you have a business card? Yes. Do you have a business card? I'd love to hear more about your business. And just let them talk about themselves, and they'll present opportunities for you.
Because especially if they own a business or they're in sales or something like that, they are doing the same thing you're doing. They're looking for an opportunity to talk about it. And if you hand it to them, then that's like, hey, there's a freebie. I get to pitch, and then you get to reciprocate and pitch back. You get a nice flow going on, and next thing you know your friends and you're doing business.
Yeah, I mean, just think, if you've been at this for a little while and you've been to a networking event, or you've been in a room full of people and everyone is fascinated by what you do and they ask for your card, just think about how few of those people actually bought something from you, and how it might have gone differently if you would have just said, yeah, I definitely have business cards, but you know what? I've got pictures of what I do on my phone.
Yeah.
You know, or let's go to my website.
Yeah.
Or come on, get in my car. We'll drive to my store in Miami. You know, do something that will get them to the next step where, I love that shirt.
Yes.
Cool.
And you know what is what nobody likes, and what you can do with the phone picture thing.
Okay.
Right? Because people like seeing things. You know, people like looking at pictures, obviously. I mean, nobody wants to see you scroll forever to try to find pictures.
No,
of your
yes,
photos. So what you should do is every phone will do this. You either like favorite or put in a folder things I would show people, where you can open up your phone app, go to that
on your
folder,
home screen.
and hit that one. And you don't need a lot. You don't need 150 pictures in there. You need 20 pictures of, like, these are my 20 pictures I show anybody who wants to see a picture.
Yeah.
And
I love
they're
that.
easily accessible.
I love that.
So there we go.
Okay, so now that we've talked about kind of, you know, what visual clues might be and what verbal clues that you are going to turn into opportunities, now we're going to kind of talk about how to actually get them to give you money at this point.
Okay, so
right?
converting the sale?
Yeah, this is converting a conversation starter.
Okay.
Right?
So let's talk about some of this.
Okay.
Because we actually have some notes in here in converting conversation starters. So taking the conversation and getting it into a sales conversation. I think we've covered a lot of these now, right?
We
Are there
did.
any other examples?
Let's just make sure.
We're reading here while you guys are listening.
Mark Vila will do some close-up magic.
I forgot. The times that I've brought my close-up magic tricks, you did not say anything.
That's true.
You know that I've got it with me.
Okay, I do like a couple of these.
Okay.
I like saying something like, if you are in a niche, or you see somebody that's obviously in a niche, like fishing or something like that, you could say something, I've got a lot of clients in your niche. In the plumbing business, in the hairdressing business, I'd love to show you a few examples. Yeah. Okay, that starts a conversation.
And you don't have to have them right then and there, too, if you don't.
Right.
You know, so if maybe you're in your top 20 pictures, none of them are plumbing businesses,
right?
But you have a couple plumbers you've done business for, and you've got pictures somewhere. That's a good excuse to exchange, like, you now get to have a second conversation,
right?
You know, because you owe them something.
I like that. Or, you know, you could say something, you're talking to somebody that teaches yoga. Hey, you know what? I was in a yoga studio a couple of weeks ago. Man, they sell tons of custom apparel.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Are you doing that in your shop?
Yeah. 3 out of 4 of the people in the class were wearing that you know,
Yogani,
Yogani shirt. You know, so you should be doing that too.
Yeah,
and I can help you get going.
And I love this little one. If you are at an event, you have to be careful who you ask. People always stop and look at that design. What size are you? I bet I have something here for you.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's just in sales lingo, it's the assumptive close. Like, obviously, you're looking at that shirt, you touched it, you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have it in your size.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's a good thought too, because then they get to pick it up, hold it up again. Now they're physically imagining it more. All right, so now we've got conversation started that's leading towards kind of the sales process. This is, you're starting a conversation that can lead to quoting somebody on a project.
Yes.
Talking about a job.
Getting cash.
Getting cash.
Getting cash.
So how do we get some cash?
What you can do is you can use some of these kind of phrases like, I'd love to show you what I can do. How about if I make you one?
Yeah.
You know, so if someone is very into custom t-shirts or they've got corporate apparel, you might say something like that. You might be, I see you love the bag, I'd love to show you what I can do. How about if I make you one?
Yeah.
You know, and then you just assume that they're going to pay for it, that it's a sale, right?
Yeah, that's a great point, because at first when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, like make them like a free sample, which is one tactic you could do.
You could.
But you could just say, like, how about I make you one? I can make you one, something like this.
Yeah,
and then
they're only $25.
Yeah, they're only $25.
Come on.
That's it. Yeah, we can go do it right now.
And you could also say something like, especially if you use the tell me about your business, you know, kind of conversation starter. It sounds like you do a lot of different things. I'd love to be a part of that. Why don't you let me do a small mixed order for you, and you can buy them, bring them in-house, and see what you can do with them.
Yeah, that's great.
Right? So, you know, a small mixed order, telling you, you know, it's going to be a variety of products, especially if you're talking to a bigger business.
Yeah, and this could be like that yoga studio you mentioned, or a restaurant, bar, any place where they might sell their own swag.
Yeah, you know? I love that. I bet your customers would love to get, you know, a variety of these different things. Why don't you buy 2 sets and we'll just put them in your shop and see how they do.
Yeah, and just see how they do. It'd be like a little experiment for you. And I'm telling you, your customers are you're definitely gonna do it. You're gonna make a little bit more money, and then you're gonna get some free advertising because people are gonna be walking around with your hat on.
Right.
So that's great.
I like this one too. While you look around, how about if I make you one of these? I'll even put your name on it.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you're doing stuff on the spot, you know, if you've got transfers and names and numbers and things like that, you could offer to customize it right there.
Yeah, that's really cool. Let's see. Oh, why don't you hire me to do it better?
Yeah.
You know, so that was like kind of where I said the shirt looked bad.
Yes.
You know, so you know, you might not necessarily say it that way, but you could say, you know, listen, I can outfit you in much better stuff. You're really gonna like it. You know, it might be a good time to kind of give an upgrade to the look, because the food's great, the atmosphere is great, the drinks are great, and the person serving it, their uniform's not great. Let's make it match.
Yeah, I like that.
Go for it.
Let me show you what a great quality shirt like that will do.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. I like that.
So you've got. I love that design too. You want me to wrap it up or have it delivered to you? You know, so it's they've got something. Maybe you're at a show or an event or at your shop or whatever it is, and they're looking at it. This is so cute.
Yes.
You know, I love this, and that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Really popular. It's $20. I can bring it up to the register for you now, or and stuff like that.
I think one of these, one of the general approach that we're talking here in a lot of these is just assume that they want to buy that. Like they already want to buy that. You know, that jacket looks great on you. Let me find it in your size and I'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
You know, I love that shirt too. Come on, let's head for the register. I want to make sure you get one. Does your friend want one too?
Yeah.
You know?
Or if that is the last one.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, point that out for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the last one. What size are you? XL?
Yeah.
All right, I've got one XL in it.
Right.
You know, this last one. So make sure you point those things out too, because that's the an opportunity for them. What else do we have here? We've got, I'm sure you'll be happier with the work I do. Why don't we place a small order now? And if you like them, we can discuss a larger one later.
Yeah, I like that for a couple of reasons, because we talked about the idea that you're going to do great work.
Yeah.
And if they keep walking, they're not going to get the same quality or the same care that you're going to give them. It's in their benefit to buy something from you. So look, you're going to be happy with it. So just buy a small order. Take 5 shirts or 10 shirts or 25 hats or whatever it is, and then, you know, try them out. And if you like them, then we'll talk about the big one.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to outfit the whole restaurant. Maybe just that bartender specifically that I noticed the shirt on first. Let's start with him. What, 5?
Yeah.
And then if you love it, then we could talk about, you know, the other 10 employees.
Yeah, and I love this one too, because it will work for the next thing that we're going to talk about is how to do this, convert the sale on the phone.
Yeah, because you are going to get business. If you've done all the things we've talked about, you're on Bing Places and Facebook and Google My Business, and when they go to Google Maps and they search embroidery near me.
I'm so proud that you remembered Bing Places.
And they go to all these places and they find you.
Yeah.
And then there's a little phone button on your website or Facebook or wherever it is, Google, and they click it and they call you up just to ask you real quick. So now, what do you do there? Let's talk about some of those things.
Well, really kind of we've got some examples, just short scripts like we've been talking about that are going to be in the show notes. I definitely want you to download them. But what you don't want is you don't want somebody to call you and then ask for a quote, and then you give them the price and then they hang up.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want that, because you've paid for that phone call. It's not free.
Yeah.
In one way or another, or your money, right? So what you could say is something like, "Can I save you some shopping time? I'm going to do a great job at a great price anyway. I promise you'll be happy with the results. Why don't you just let me take your order now and I'll get started?"
Yeah.
You know, so you're saying, look, you're going to spend the next hour calling around getting different prices and everything. You don't know if those are going to be good. I know I do great work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quote you a fair price right now. Just place the order. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things, it's speaking about it almost sounds like funny or silly, like you would say that. But if you reword that in an honest tone for you,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
so where I would say, like, you know, I might say that's the same thing as, okay, great, you know, so when are you looking to do this? Oh, I'm kind of just, I'm in the thinking about it for, all right, are you shopping around a little bit? Yeah, that's just calling. Okay, I'll tell you, what I did, because I listened to the Custom Apparel Startups podcast, is I researched everyone around here. What you're asking for is really what I specialize in.
Yeah.
And other shops they might do this, but I specialize in this. I know my price is really fair. I know my quality is top notch.
Yeah.
You're really the right type of person that I like to deal with, and I'd love to earn your business.
Yeah,
and I feel like we've had a good conversation so far. And if you feel good about it, I'm asking for it.
You could even do a throwaway negative. So what that would be something like, you know what? If you were going to order 2,000 of these things, I probably wouldn't quote you at all. Like, I'd send you to somebody down the street. They're going to be right.
That's good.
But man, I mean, if you want 35 of these, there's nobody else that's going to do as good a job or be able to get it to you faster.
You want 35 of these by Friday. I specialize in an order of that size at that speed. Not everyone else will do it. Some folks will say yes, but they don't specialize in that. I know. I've seen the nightmares.
Or, you know what, you're going to call around for the next 30 or 45 minutes, and you really don't know what you're going to get in the end.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm going to promise you that everything's going to be good right up front.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of thing. I also like the production schedule, so kind of a scarcity thing.
Yeah.
So I've got time in my production schedule tomorrow or Friday. Can I put your job in one of those time slots?
Yeah.
That does a couple of things. It makes you first of all, you seem like a busy professional, and people want to do business with that. Not, hey, I could do it right now.
Yeah.
Just come into the shop, I'll print it. I've got time on these 2 days. Why don't you let me take your order and I'll get you in right now.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm able to book you, right now. Or you could. There's other things, Oh, hey, I had another customer that needed stuff due on Friday. They called me up and they said that their event got postponed because of rain. Remember that storm that happened last week?
Yeah.
So
perfect time.
I've got time right now or tomorrow. So you said you wanted a rush order. You called at the perfect time.
I love that. I also like avoiding kind of the price conversation until you get a commitment.
Yeah.
So somebody calls up for a quote and you have a long conversation about like you're going to do because you've listened to our other podcasts about, well, I've got a couple of different shirt qualities for your situation. I'm going to recommend this. You're an expert. You're going to talk to them like a pro. You're going to say, look, I know you're going to, I know you are going to shop around a little bit. I'm going to make you happy on the price. Why don't you just tell me when you need the shirts delivered, and let me get the order started. And then as an aside, it'll be $28.50.
Yeah,
each.
And I think that when speaking about that, and when you're having that conversation, if you call up, I've done this. You call up a random shop, you're going to get one of them that just says, 12 shirts, $12.99 a piece, $20 setup fee.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, it'd take a week to get done.
No, and everyone's going to say that.
Yeah,
100%.
And no rapport. They look at it, and a lot of small business owners do this. In general, a lot of people do this. Is they look at a phone call or something like that as an interruption, because they convert very low. Meaning that most of the phone calls that they get don't turn into customers.
Right.
So they look at it as this is just another person calling for a quote that's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You want to make your business high converting on the phone calls.
Man, I'll tell you that if you have said to somebody within the past 6 months, that, you know what? I mean, I get all kinds of phone calls. Nobody ever buys anything anyway.
Yeah.
Then you are the problem.
Yeah.
Right? You haven't developed phone skills yet. So rewind this podcast and start over.
Well, and listen to some of the other ones. Just go and listen to all of them.
Yeah.
Because we've talked a lot about rapport building and just snippets all over the place.
Yes.
But that conversation about, okay, great. What are the shirts for? Indoor or outdoor? Okay.
Right.
All right. So just men, just women, mixed. Okay, what type? Oh, okay, athletes. All right, we're talking about. All right, you're going to sweat in them. You're learning them. They are not going to get that treatment from most places. So immediately and during this, you don't make it like a battery of questions that you're asking them like they're doing a survey. This is conversational. It's going to be an outdoor event. Cool. What type of event you're doing? It's a company picnic. Oh, man. Yeah, I own a business now, but I remember I used to work for a company, and those were fun.
Picnics all the time.
Those were fun. What part you're doing at a park? Oh, okay. Yeah. And you find the person, and you're going to try to have these conversations with folks, and some folks will the park.
You'll get short answers.
You're going to get short answers. You got to find the spot where they will open the door for you, and they will. So if they don't care about the place, tell me about your business, and then maybe that'll open it up. Yeah. And then once their door is open, you got the sale.
So I love that. We've got another theme here that you have to look at every phone call that's not spam, and everyone that comes into your shop and everyone that comes by your booth as a golden opportunity. And treat it as an amazing opportunity. Like the president of the biggest company with the most cash that needs the most custom shirts done in the world just walked into your shop. You want to be that person's friend, so they'll order from you. And, by the way, it's incredibly rewarding to set up these connections. I love the connections that I've got to a lot of our customers on the CAS group, that we've talked on the phone and we've done video conferences. That's great. And we both benefit from that. That's what you're looking for when you're in these situations. Somebody walks up to you at a show, comes into your booth at an event, calls you on the phone, walks into your retail shop. stop what you're doing and pay attention to what's happening and kind of follow these steps through to a sale.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that stuff, and it's like you're just sitting there explaining it, and it's like this stuff is honestly just exciting to talk about for me because I pay attention. I'm always paying attention to this type of stuff because we talk about it and we do it for a living. So whenever I go, into a little shop or a store, and then just like the clerk is just doesn't say hi to anybody. I just walked in, looked around, walked out. They have no clue what I was willing to spend, no clue about anything, and just opportunities just flying by people all the time.
I've been waiting for the chance to tell this story.
Okay. You hardly have stories.
I know. This is such a good one because I want to reinforce the idea that everyone that you talk to on the phone and that comes into your shop or visits your event might be a golden opportunity.
Okay.
Right? So I was in the car business as a young man.
All right.
And being new in the car business, what they used to do is, they have a rotation system. Mm-hmm. So somebody new comes in, they assign them to the next salesperson line. It's kind of terrible, but that's the way it was for years, unless you were new and somebody that looked terrible came into the dealership, and then they put you first in line.
Yeah.
Right? So I was selling Nissans at the time, and these two guys, obviously brothers, in their 40s came in, like cutoffs and t-shirts, literally had grease on their bodies.
Okay.
Right? They each bought Maximas with an American Express that day. They were dirty from working on their helicopter.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, just an example.
Yeah.
If somebody calls you and they have a terrible voice, or they seem rude when they first walk into your store, or they blow you off, or anything like that, just ignore all that and just keep looking for an opportunity to connect and to lead them down one of these paths. Because if they're interacting with you as it regards your business, then they are interested in buying something.
Yeah.
Right? 100% of the time. You don't go into a clothing store if you're looking for milk.
Yeah.
Right? You're looking for clothes. There you go.
So, all right, we've got some plans. We've figured out some icebreakers, and we've turned that into some conversations, and maybe some different ways you can get them to commit to the sale. So, what are next steps?
The first one is really important. I'd like you to look at the show notes here, or if you've been paying really close attention to the podcast, just write down some of the things that you might say in each one of these circumstances. Because as you can tell, Mark Vila and I both have different styles when we're talking to people. And when we're writing things to people and when we're on video, but they're both really effective. So you've got to find your own voice in these things.
The thing that I've always read and learned and practiced, it's got to just be genuine to you.
Right.
So just to figure out the way that it's right for you to speak, if the exact phrases that are in the notes, that Mark wrote some, I wrote some.
Yeah.
You might not know which is which, but
the better ones might be mine. I'm not sure.
If you like the way that it's written and you can picture yourself saying that because that's the way you speak, then just do it. Take it.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't like the way that's it, how would you word it then?
Right. So
because a couple of these, I wouldn't say it that way because if I tried to say it that way, it's not me. It would come out fake. It would come out fake. Yeah. So find your own thing.
So I think a good exercise for this is to picture yourself in the situations that we described. Mm-hmm. So picture yourself at a weekend market and people are in your booth and they're just looking around your stuff. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to make them make the next move?
Yeah.
Right?
If you're at a networking event, even if it's the children's birthday party networking event where you just meet talking to parents, wherever it might be, when you do make those connections where you got to bring up your business and it turned into a meaningful conversation, go through that in your head, maybe when you're driving home or something like that, and think, okay, well, how did I get started? What did I mention? That felt good.
Right.
It worked. And then, next time, I'm in a situation, I'm going to just do something similar to that again. And that just might be you're in all the time.
Right.
It just works perfect for you.
Or you're going to add the same phrase to the end of every conversation that you have.
Yeah.
That's going to be, you know what? Can I send you some information? Can I deliver a shirt to your house tomorrow? I know it's weird. We just met. We're in a pool, but still.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing is you absolutely do have to practice these.
Yeah.
Right? Because you'll be more comfortable saying things that you've said before. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why you always yell at your kids the same way. Okay.
So you've got that all set, and then the last thing you do is just see if the sales improve.
Yeah.
And I would just say wait for them to improve, because they will.
Yeah.
You know, all of these things that we are talking about, I don't think we ever talk about any type of like a get-rich-quick scheme,
Right.
or we never talk about this is how you're going to sell 1,000 shirts next month.
Right.
Everything we're talking about are the basis of like standard marketing and sales and business growth tactics
Yep.
that, in one way or another, any expert or guru agree with them on some level.
Yeah.
And so these are things that if you do this and you practice this 100%, it's going to
You'll sell more.
You're going to sell more.
You will sell
Yeah.
more. And you know what? I mean, I'll make an offer. If you want to go through any of these, if you want to practice your script, or you want to talk about situations and how you might be able to sell more in them, or what you might be able to say, specific approaches for your niche, give us a shout.
Yeah, you could message us in the Custom Apparel Startups Facebook group if
Yep.
you want. That's probably the most common one, where folks will just send a quick message.
Yep.
Or you could email us through the customapparelstartups.com.
Yep.
You know, you can call into ColDesi. I've had people just call in.
Yeah.
And they just call in and just ask for me.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I heard you on the podcast, and just ask a
Right.
question. I encourage you to do that. And if you're listening to this and you're in like shopping stage
Yes.
for equipment, the good thing is that Mark and I don't actually sell the equipment.
Yes,
So
that's
if you want
true.
to call and ask about the business
Yes.
and not have it turn into equipment conversation and trying to sell you something, you just want to know about the business more, I encourage those conversations. And then when you're at the right time to talk to one of our pros who's a salesperson, then you can move over to them to get,
Right.
well, how big is the machine and all these things.
Now, I will tell you there is a 100% chance that we will try to sell you on listening to more podcast episodes.
Yeah,
that's a guarantee.
yes. I mean, we make thousands of dollars every time somebody listens.
We make thousands of something. We make thousands of nothing.
So thousands of nothings, but we enjoy doing it for you guys, because we hear good feedback all the time about how it helped. So do this, and it will.
Yeah,
You'll be
I love
one of
that.
those.
Okay, everyone, this has been Mark Stevenson from ColDesi.
And Mark Vila from Coleman and Company.
You guys have an amazing sales closing conversational business.
Wow, that was long.
It was good.